Right, it's 12:30 and I'm a little tired, so I'm going to do a build video of a lithium ion 6S pack, and you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to put you in the vice and get you centered up here. So here's what the finished piece is like. I've tested these. There is a video out of me flying my juice mode above the canal, doing a bit of freestyle. I've got another one that I've got another edit in the pipeline that I'm going to do. But yeah, they fly well. They're quite heavy. I think I've got a battery weight here somewhere. 434 grams. So yeah, 434 grams. So yeah, they are quite heavy. Yeah, but you get some amazing flight time out of them. I mean, some people have got up to 20 minutes. I unfortunately can't stop myself from doing stupid things, so 15 minutes is some of my best flight times. But yeah, it is what it is. So to kind of explain it quickly before I start building. There, so your two power cables, we're going to there, and that's a flat form. So if you can see, camera's turned off, right, I see that. That would be a flat battery, which you might want to do, but the best formation really for being on a quad is like this, because it keeps it nice and compact. You can do a parallel circuit next to this to still keep it 6S, but double up your milliamp hour, and also the weight would be phenomenal. So I don't understand why you'd want to do that. So today we're just going to show this way. So without further ado, I'll show you some batteries. So these are the cells that we've got. So they're Molicel P42A 4200 milliamp hour. They are the 21700. They're slightly bigger cells, but I've been told they perform better. Chap Craig on the Superfly group recommended these, so thanks for that. Yeah, they've been good. So if you want to get those, I will put a link in the description below, but you want to go to the Fogstar wholesale website, and they're only £3.75 a cell there, whereas on the main website they're like something stupid, like close to £8 a cell or something like that. Don't quote me, but yeah, you want to go to the wholesale. I ended up buying 30, which was fine for a single purchase, but you need to look up the rules on that. I'm not really sure what the minimum purchase is, but you can kind of pair it with a mate or something if you don't want that many batteries. So I've already rubbed these 5 down. There's only one more to go. So all I want to do is just get a bit of wet and dry and just give each side just a little bit of roughing up, just so the solder will take to it. Bit of an unconventional way. A lot of people do 3D prints and stuff like that to hold their batteries together. Some just tape them. Personally, with my last lot, what I did was I glued the cells together with a little tiny bead of glue. Obviously they're going to be facing in the opposite direction, each pair of cells, but you can glue them together in pairs, pointing positive in one direction and the other one positive in the other, so you know that would complete a series circuit for a 2-cell battery. But we're going to pair them all into a 6S battery. So move them back over there and we'll wait for that to heat up. For me here, I've got a nice little right angle corner in the desk, luckily, but you could probably make yourself something just by putting a piece of wood on the desk and clamping it down. I mean, do whatever you want to secure these batteries the way you want to. This is just the way that I'm doing it. So there's 3D prints available, all sorts of things. There's all sorts of fancy ways you can do it. Plenty of instructables on those online. So, right. Ah, shit, glue dribbling out of glue gun. Piece of card, yes. Shitty diagram comes in handy, right. So I'm gonna just keep them together nicely. Just put one thin line of glue out in the middle of those two. That's a bit. Flip it over. Don't need much at all. It's going to add to the weight when it's all shrunk down in its packaging. It should hold together nicely. And you can get all sorts of fancy insulation tapes and things to cover up the connectors. You could wrap it in electrical tape. But yeah, you can make nice caps with cut out of plastic or ice cream tubs. All sorts of things you can do. But yeah, these two are now stuck together nicely, so we will put them to one side. Grab another two. Essentially repeat the process 3. Here we go. Now this, get the fuck off me, glue gun. Right. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a beautiful mess though, look at it, right. This is ingenuity, I think, at its best, because while you lot have got your printers running and you're thinking of your fancy ways to build your battery packs, I've just done ones with some box glue, so yeah. It's a bit idiotic really, isn't it? So the idiot proof way to build a battery. Right, now that's glued together. I'm gonna just quickly write these back on just for sake, so you can see how we're going and where we're gonna go. Right, so it would be stupid, right, I'll tell you the safety things now, it'd be stupid to use a metal pair of tweezers while doing anything really with electronics. These are my Mrs. tweezers and they're pretty blunt and she doesn't like them, and I haven't got any ceramic ones, so I'm going to use these, and it's stupid, so don't do this. Get yourself some ceramic tweezers. Yeah, that's the first thing. Also, wear a pair of goggles, you're supposed to, because if you do bridge any of these terminals in the wrong way at any point, when you're starting to finish your battery up, hot solder can fly everywhere and get any of that in your eyes. It's no good. Also keeping an exit in mind for chucking the battery if you need to. But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen if you follow the correct precautions. But yeah, so we're going to start off, because I want it to mirror one of my batteries. So have a look at that. we can take these two as those. Yes, that'll be sound. So, right, we're going to start off by just pre-tinning every single terminal on here. Now, we've already, remember, rubbed up every single one before we glued them together because it was a bit easier than when it's glued together. So, solder. Now this is set to about 400. People worry about exploding batteries, but if you don't hold it on for much longer than, you know, a few seconds, it should be fine. You know, you can shove these things on a fire and they'll last for quite a long time before they go pop. I mean, I don't know that, and don't ask me how I know that. But yeah. So let's pre-tin these. I'm going to start off by putting the cable on and getting my starting and finish point for my series circuit. I'm not going to even bother soldering properly. I'm just going to do this the way that I like to. I'm going to move on to the next bit. We're going to start from positive terminal here. Follow that down to the negative, and we want to join these two here. Continue. I've got to mention that I have cheated a bit by building my XT60 leads in these little, pre-tin these little, cut them to length to make this a bit quicker. So using my stupid tweezers, stupid tweezers. There's one. Right. Follow that back up to here. And we could do this one next, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to carry on with what I know I'm going to need on this side. So through to here, to here. These two are going to be bridged, and we're going to go back to the negative through this one. So I'm going to quickly do these. Probably end up speeding up this about now. So, have a look. We're going from positive, jumped across, jumped across, jumped across, jumped across, whee, all the way back to negative. It's probably worth a mention that I've used 14 org cable to connect these together, and 12 for the battery terminus cable. You could get away with using 14 as well. It's just nice to have, I think anyway, to have a bit thicker for strength if you have a battery eject, especially with the weight of this being 434, is it 434 grams, I think one of those cells was. So now we've done that, we only have one thing left to attach to this before we can clean it up and shrink it down, which is our balance cable. Now, the balance cable, what we want to do is we want to have positive to the positive, and then the next negative goes to the rear side of the first cell on the negative side. So from then, each one of these goes onto the negative side of each transponding cell. So you've got cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, cell 5, and cell 6. So on with 4 cell, or 8 cell, whatever you want to fucking do. Right, so personally, from experience, I like to start with the one that's furthest away, so I can keep the cable as long as possible. So I'll just go ahead and pre-tin this quickly. Oh, pardon me. Right. Probably should put a finer soldering tip on, but I quite like using a big bastard old burnt thing for doing stuff like this, because it just heats stuff up well. So, where are we going to put you? Right, I'm going to figure this out myself now. So, we've got positive to the positive, negative to that negative. This one's going to go to that one. And this one's going to go, yeah, I'm right, this one is the furthest one away. So if you're building a 6S, this is the way that I'm going to show you to do it, just because it makes sense. If you've got a balance cable and you want to leave it as long as possible, you're going to start with the middle one. And you're going to put that one on first, and then we can go round normally, start with the positive and go all the way around. Just personally, because it's going to make a difference keeping it as long as you can. So I know that this one has got to go to this negative terminus here, so we're gonna want it to come out nice and even in between these cables, like the other ones that I've done over there. So we're just going to thread in through the middle of there, flip the battery over, and we're just going to whack him on here. We're going to whack him on here, right? Todd's tired. Oh my god, I'm breathing in all this horrible noxious gas. I'm gonna oh well. Happy days. He's all soldered. Right, so there you go. Your first one's on. Your middle one's on. So from the positive, we're now on the first cell negative. So we want him to go all the way through the middle. Now, for this, I'm going to label the cells just so you can see. This is number 1, number 2, number 3. And we're going to connect the balance cable on the negative terminals. So here, here, and here. This is number 4. This is number 5. This is number 6. Again, negative terminals here, here, and here, where we're going to connect our balance cables. So, number 1. It's got to come all the way around to here. So, I'm going to keep that nice and taut and try and match the length-ish. Yeah, perfect metal scissors around the battery as well is perfect. As you can see, right here, this piece of solder is sitting almost between those two terminals, which wouldn't make any difference, luckily, because they're connected anyway. But if I do something stupid, there will be quite a big spark in a minute. So really good to have your wits about you and just, you know, keep away any blobs of solder from underneath. You know, maybe work on a rubber mat. Piece of wood is a pretty good isolator, so I'm not going to really worry about that. But don't work on a metal bench. So, cell 1. Positive. We're on cell 1. He's gone through the middle. And he's gone to number 1 here. Negative terminus. The only one that goes to the positive is the positive here. Obviously, because they're in a series circuit, they're all linked together. Your negative cable is basically just separating them so they can balance charge each single cell into separating them into single circuits basically for each cell. So we're taking the second cell negative, and our second cell is actually on this side, so this one's going to be fairly short. So see, number 2, the negative is here, so we can cut this. Right, that's number 2. Number 3 we've already done because we started with it. Where are we? Number 3, and then there we go, the negative. See, we did that because it's the furthest one away, and as you can see, it's a nice way of just getting your cables in order. So back to number 4, and that is also on this side of the battery. Fuck it, that'll do. It's probably worth mentioning as well, if you're not going to cover, which I'm basically going to do the rough and ready version of battery building, if you're not going to cover the ends of these or make any kind of fancy caps, it's probably best to try and keep all your solder as flat as possible and all these cables as flat as possible, so you don't have anything protruding through, which might short. What most people will do at the end of this is wrap this in like Captain tape, whatever you call it, and insulate it properly. But I think, to be honest, when you've wrapped it in 2 layers of shrink wrap, I think that's pretty sufficient for, especially when your batteries, especially on my quad, has been mounted that way. It's not going to short. There's no issues, and if it wears, we can reshrink it. Everything's good. 5th. Would you see that? It's on the other side. Hey, we're getting the hang of this, aren't we? Look, get through there. 5th. There. Where are we? We are that one. You could almost leave this full length. I'm not going to trim a little bit off. So there we go, that's the 5th. And finally, last but not least, we have our 6th, which is going to be bang on the negative. Oh, for the XD60. Right, so that's going to do me. Before I give that a clean off, I'm just going to quickly move all this metal shit out of the way, and then we're going to whack him on here and just double check that everything's working the way it should be. Obviously not going to be balanced particularly well because the new cells, I can whack it on the charger in a minute. But we're all registering and we're all good. So there we go. Working battery pack. That's the science of it. So before we finish it off, just quickly again, balance cable, positive to positive, and from that point we're going first cell, second cell, and so on, as I've said. Nice and neat, keep the cables flat. Happy days. So we need to tidy this motherfucker up. So this is where all my lovely drawings on the side of the batteries start to run all into my fingers and over my hands. This is not a good idea either. I don't know whether this will short the battery out. I haven't had any problems, but I'd rather not have flux all over it as well, so there's probably better ways to clean this. Find a better way to clean your batteries. Ignore me. Ooh, this stinks. Right. Oh my god, it's all over my hand. My hands are screwed. Ah, damn it. Right, let's move that back over there. We need you no more. Wow, wow, wow. Right. Okay. There you go. Right, so here we are then. Give him a quick go. So we're on lithium ion. At the moment it's on storage. We're going to put it on charge. 6S. No, we don't want to do that because we're on the wrong channel. Let's start again. Success, storage, charge. And we're quite happily charging. So, yeah. We'll charge him up and have a quick rip with him tomorrow and see what it does. That's about it. That's building a battery pack. Lithium Ion Success battery pack. Enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm so tired. I need to go to bed. Bye.